Strength. Some people cannot handle grief, so they will use another person to bypass the grief. Some people need another person to affirm the identity that they're either used to or want to have. So if somebody is used to being a wife or a husband and that's like a big part of their identity, then they need someone else to love them in order to step into that identity. There's multiple reasons. I would have to ask a lot of questions to get to the core of your situation, right? But none of those reasons have anything to do with you. Right. That's like when sometimes with the questions people ask, it's the assumption they're making is that there's one reason why people do things. It's like 10 reasons why people do anything. You have to ask questions to figure out what that reason is, but it's never just one reason. He was moving fast. He probably had someone while he was going through this divorce process. Right. Another reason. Why is it like after every emotional thing he needs space, disappears, then comes back like normal? It's likely you're dealing with an avoidant. So they fear intimacy. It makes them uncomfortable. But the important thing is that he comes back. How long does it take him to come back normally? That's going to be very important. Okay. A lot of foreign names here. We're going to see. We're going to test it out. We're going to test it out in the queue. A lot of random assortment of letters that I can't pronounce. We're going to see if these people actually have questions. Going 0 for 8, right? We're going to see. We're going to see. Hello. Okay, you're already out because we're not talking. So, next on the list. Already going, you're too loud. All right, what else we got? Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I so I'm trying to make it short.
You're good.
Anyway, I saw a guy that came home from Brazil. His hometown is my hometown in Long Beach, California. And I couldn't tell if he liked me or not, and I'm just like, I don't know. I did tell him I liked him, but he just went back to Brazil. But I think I'm just gonna let it go. Should I just let it go? Because he doesn't live here.
The guy lives in Brazil,
Yeah.
and you met him how?
He's one of my friend's older brothers, so I met him like 7 years ago at his house.
Okay, in Brazil.
No, in
That's your friend's house.
California.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wait, so y'all dated when he came to the States?
He just he came here and then we went out and then he came over and we hung out and that was pretty much it. We just hung out twice when he came over here.
Okay. How soon after that did he go back to Brazil?
So he was over here for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say? My thing.
How frequently does he come back to the States?
Probably like 3 or 4 times a year.
Okay. And what is your question here?
Should I try to talk to him? I don't even know if he likes me. I texted him today and I was like, I do like you. He hasn't seen the text yet.
How do you know you like him?
I don't know. He's really calm and kind, and I like that.
But you've been around him for how long?
Huh?
How long have you been around him?
Not that long. Only twice since he's came home.
All right. So that's the point I'm making. It's like you don't know him for real. You got to know someone to
Uh,
say it to determine that you like them.
that's
How
true.
old are you?
How old am I?
Uh-huh.
29.
Okay. A little late in the game, beloved. You got to know that at 29. It's like you have to know, you have to be able to spend time with this person in order to. You're in fantasy land. You're
Yeah.
in a fantasy land. So you have a fantasy of who this person is. You don't really know them. So you like the version of them in your head. That's who you're talking to.
Oh
But
no, that's not good.
right, right.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And I have, I guess, like a date on Saturday with this other guy, and he lives here,
Hmm.
and he seems a lot more interested in like wanting to do things and like keep making plans and all of that. So I'll
But
probably like him next week. No, I'm kidding.
but you haven't gone on a date with him yet.
No, I haven't.
Okay. How'd you meet him?
We went to high school together, and he messaged me on Instagram.
Okay. So you just bringing back all the old people, huh? All
I
the all the
know
old
that's a
work.
bad trend.
Holding
I just feel more
auditions.
comfortable because if I meet someone like out or on a dating app, I feel like I've just met some weirdos, like just bad intention, and like
Right.
I'm very not gullible, but just I always see like the best in people, or I try to, and
Right.
it's really hard for me because I don't know.
Right. How long ago was your last relationship?
It's been like over a year,
How long was that?
like 5 or 6 months.
Why did that
It,
relationship end?
how did that end? I found him on a dating app matching with my cousin.
Jesus Christ. How did you find him on a dating app?
I found him on Coffee Meets Bagel, and he was very persistent, and I was like, okay, cool, like that's fine.
No, you said you found out that you found
Oh,
him
how
on
did
the
I
dating
found it?
app.
Yeah, so my cousin messaged me his profile.
Okay. All right. All right. So, what's your longest relationship been?
I haven't really had a long relationship. I've always been like on and off, or never ready, or kind of scared, or to commit. And I'm trying here. Like
Okay.
I'm yeah. I go to therapy. Like I've been in therapy forever. I haven't. I don't know.
So you said that it's good to try. It's like that's what we're all here for. So you're fine. But you said that you have been scared to commit in the past.
Yeah, like I. It's like the old story of like always being around the wrong guy, and they come off so nice like in the beginning or cool, and like but at the
Right.
end of the day it's like it's just not I'm not being treated correctly, and I'll still stay for a while.
Right. Okay. How do you typically meet these men?
It hasn't been too many. When I was traveling, I went to Costa Rica, and I met a guy, and I was like talking to him on and off for a while, and then before that I was like, I don't know, seeing a guy from that he would like come home and leave and go to Africa a lot.
Gotcha.
And
We're noticing a pattern here. We got a pattern established. So, have you always been somewhat afraid of commitment?
I think so, yeah.
So every romantic connection you've had that fear.
I'm assuming I do because it's with a lot of people that don't live over here.
Okay. Okay. So, what about commitment makes you afraid?
I kind of feel suffocated.
Okay. You feel suffocated. All right. And when you are with someone, do you ever feel clingy?
Oh yeah, like I feel shaky.
Ooh.
Like when they don't I was dating this guy like during this past winter, and like I would feel like shaky if he didn't text back or like didn't make plans, and it was so uncomfortable like going through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I never mentioned it. I would just try to pretend like I wasn't like that.
Right. Okay. Do you know much about attachment styles?
I know I have attachment issues, if that's what you're asking.
Do you know which one you are? Like the label?
Anxious attachment.
I wouldn't say that. I think you're fearful avoidant.
Oh, fearful avoidant.
That's
I
like,
know, because I haven't told anyone that, like, if that guy was right here, like, I would be like, I like you, and if he was home, he's like all the way in Brazil. It doesn't even matter.
right. So it's like fearful avoidance. They have anxious and avoidant, right?
Yeah.
Attachment. So they both crave closeness, but then fear closeness simultaneously.
Yeah.
Does that feel like, does that resonate?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Because you're selecting men who are unavailable.
Yeah.
You're selecting these men intentionally because their lifestyle means they can't get too close to you.
Yeah.
Right? It's the distance is serving the function of them not getting too close to you emotionally.
Yeah.
That's why you have a date lined up this Monday, but you're still thinking about the guy who actively lives in Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. And fearful avoidants are also typically very skittish. They typically want to connect with men who they have some sort of shared history with. They normally get with their friends or men who just have been around for a long period of time.
Oh no. That makes a lot of sense.
Right? So Monday you got the guy from high school, right?
Well, Saturday, yeah, the
Saturday.
guy from high
So
school.
that's like there's a bit of safety established because there's some sort of connection already.
Yeah, I've never even talked to him. We just went to the same school, but I feel safe because,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's people who know of him, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel so scared and
Right.
worried.
Right. Normally, my first suggestion for people who are fearful avoidant is to get EMDR, which is a trauma-based therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because fearful avoidance typically, um, talk therapy isn't the greatest because the issue isn't like cognitive. It's not conscious. It's not like
Yeah.
trauma stored in the body. So like a somatic-based therapy is going to be more effective there. And that will get you like feeling more, and it can also kind of rewire that trauma a bit because fearful avoidance typically are formed because of some trauma in their childhood where their caretaker was both the source of love and pain usually.
Yeah, that's true.
So they associate love with, they both want it, but then they also fear it because they associate with pain as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend for you. That doesn't mean you have to stop dating or anything like that. But if you want this to stop, it sounds like it's been a cycle for you, probably for the last decade.
Yeah, since I was like 14 years old, there was
Right,
all.
right,
Yeah.
right. So if you don't want this to continue being a cycle, love, like you got to do things differently, and it's not just going to be as simple as choosing different people. So I would
Okay.
definitely seriously consider that as well. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I had actually done EDMR, the tapping therapy
Mm-hmm.
to release the suppression. So I've done that, but it would feel really intense, and it would take me a long time to like come back and like be okay.
Oh, so
So
you stopped because it
oh
was kind of
no,
overwhelming you.
yeah,
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I had another client who she described it as it feels like you're taking a step backwards first because you're feeling things you've
mm-hmm.
never felt, and that
Yeah,
can be scary. But
yeah,
you just have to understand that it's going to feel like a step backwards first because feeling those new feelings is part of the process of you getting like raising that baseline.
yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, love. Well, I wish you the best. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. She didn't even come for all that information. But we're so giving here in this live, huh? We're so charitable in this live. We just give people way more than they ask for. But if you want more than that, y'all do know you can get your 1 hour coaching call, right? You're tired of going through cycles. If you're tired of being confused, what is the situation? Should I move on? Should I lean in? Should I pull back? Should I exit this relationship entirely? Right? Get your 1 hour coaching call. You'll get your clarity you're seeking there. This icon right here, hit that button at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation, and if I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. I would act fast though because prices are going up at the end of the month, and they will never again be lowered. Okay? All right. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I actually did not mean to hang up on that one, to be honest with you. My finger just jumped. Your finger ever jump at something? Finger just jumped at that one. My apologies. What's up, bro? Yo. Hello. Goodbye. Goodbye. Let's try this one out. Hello.
Hello, sir.
What's up, man?
Hello.
Yo.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I just woke up.
Nope. You already told me the story of how you got your day started. I know you on that bullshit, big dog. Gotta go. Serious people only with questions. Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Chief?
You know, same old, but yeah, I mean, I just kind of started listening to your stuff today. You know, went through some shit over the last couple of days. Yeah, I'm 27, just for the background.
Nice.
The girl I was talking to is also 27, but we have a work dynamic. You know, she's my technical supervisor for the next, 2 weeks. But I just got promoted off the team, so I start soon.
Nice.
And kind of what happened was, you know, the first night went well. She was all over. I kind of shut her down. Second night, she meets me out. And, you know, we hook up. And I think I just overshared pretty much by saying I was into her. Yeah, and then after, you know, in person, all of our contact is good. Everything felt fine. Drove her home, kissed me goodbye, hugged me, hopped out. We both went to work. And, you know, I tried to set up plans for Friday and got nothing back. And I think it's because I more kind of resonate, you know, I've been kind of learning the different types more with the, anxious attachment kind of person.
So what's your question here?
I'm just trying to more of figuring out, is the oversharing where I went wrong here? You know, just trying to figure out why this keeps happening, because to be real, I haven't really had a relationship go longer than 6 months in my entire life.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're 27. You said that this woman you work with.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been working with her?
2 years.
2 years. And then you ask her out?
Yeah, I pretty much just asked her out there at work, DM, said, hey, let's go out to the bar, get a couple drinks.
Right.
You know, we talked. She actually got ready at my house because she was leaving right from the office.
Okay. So y'all already were kind of chummy before you asked her out?
Exactly.
Gotcha. And she went out with you, went to the bar, y'all got drinks, and you went back to your crib?
Yeah.
And then you...
First night, I shut her down. You know, she wanted to go a little bit further in the bedroom. I said no. And then the second night, it kind of rolled around.
Why'd you say no?
We did, and then I got ghosted.
Why'd you say no?
At first, I was trying to keep it more casual. And I was like, you know, I didn't want it to really affect work.
Okay.
And then the second time it kind of shit around, I pretty much just said, all right, screw it.
So she was trying to get in your pants the first night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second night, she did the same thing, and I caved in.
Okay. So second night, it was actually the next day?
Pretty much. Yeah, so we went out Thursday. She originally actually couldn't make my plans that I had for Saturday, but then I went out to my buddy's house, and my buddy's girlfriend said, oh, you should invite her, because she was liking all of my stories that same night. So
right.
She then showed up and then came back to my house on Saturday night.
Cool. Okay. So, all right. When you said you overshared, what did you tell her?
I pretty much told her, that I was into her, but I also don't like to screw around. I'm not one to sleep around with a ton of people. I don't like to fuck around.
Right.
I know what I want. I'm 27. I have my own place. I'm just trying to, just find my person at this point.
Good for you, man. I like that. You're being very intentional. Okay. So, more than likely, what was her response to that, by the way?
She said, directly, it was like the second date, pretty much is word for word what she said.
She said that she responded with this the second date?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. Before I give you the answer on that, how has this pattern been repeating?
Of my pattern, do you mean like on my end, like how I've been feeling?
You said that you haven't had a relationship last longer than 6 months. How many relationships have you had?
I would say probably like three,
Okay.
4.
How long ago was the most recent one?
I mean, it's actually probably been about since college, so I would say about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. That doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Okay. So
then the other one was back actually in high school before her, where it was actually something that was a little bit more serious.
how long have you been single?
I would probably say about 6-7 years.
Okay. Or have you been trying to not be single, or why single for 6 or 7 years?
I mean, I get like social anxiety a little bit. So, when I knew somebody, which is why I felt comfortable asking her out because I knew her for a while, so I was comfortable with it. But just going up to somebody at a bar is not something
Okay.
that would happen.
We can play with that. So what I typically tell people is to try to date within static environments, right? That's environments where you see the same people over and over again. Dynamic environments will be environments where you see a different person every time you go. So a bar is a dynamic environment. Your job is a static environment, but church is also a static environment. The gym, if you go at the same time every day, is also a static environment. So if you know yourself and you know you need to have a degree of comfort with the person or woman to ask her out, you seem like you do things well once you feel comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Then just use that to your advantage. Just get 2 more static environments that aren't your place of work.
Yeah.
It could be hobbies, it can be clubs. Just start going there regularly and then create this same type of situation that you have with your coworker. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that definitely does.
Okay. So that's the future plan. That's how you're going to actually make this work for you.
Yeah.
Now, as far as she is concerned, you spoke past where she was emotionally.
Mm-hmm. That's what I figured too. I figured I'd jump the gun a little bit.
Right. Scares them off. Also, considering that she tried to fuck you the first night, it tells me that she probably was looking at this as a casual connection in general. So she's aggressively trying to sleep with you. It's one thing if she lets you sleep with her. It's another thing if she's unbuckling your belt, right?
Yeah, no, pretty much. I mean, she was pretty much just got naked and hopped in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what happened.
That's casual energy.
Yeah.
How old is she?
27.
Okay. Yeah. It's a big old bop, huh? So that is more likely what's going on. It's either she did consider you and you spoke past where she was emotionally, so now it feels like pressure. When you speak past where a woman is emotionally, they receive that it feels like pressure. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or she just looked at you as a casual hookup, which is that's what I'm leaning toward, and you put in a serious frame onto this. She was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked through work DMs, she did mention that previously, she was in a 6-year-long relationship. It ended last year, and that I even told her. I mean, I pretty much didn't even touch base on it because I didn't want to know. I was like, I don't really care, and just kind of said, hey, that sucks. Sometimes it's for the best, and left it at that. And then I pretty much just kind of even put it there to her. I was just like, I'm just looking for someone that brings me peace in my life. And she kind of reciprocated that, so I kind of figured that she was also looking for something serious, just kind of going off that energy. But then all of this, it kind of just feels like it all flipped.
Right. Yeah, I think she's trying to have her hot girl summer, big dog, and you just happen to be the first of many. So, it'll be awkward for a while at work, especially if she's not talking to you. I would treat this like it never happened, to be honest. I'd just be cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I have to go. I'm only on her team for another 2 weeks. I moved departments on June, so not too long.
Oh, so did you time this in that way?
It actually just kind of happened that way. I ended up all within the span of 3 days
Okay.
asking her out, figuring out I was closing on my house, and then also got the message that I got promoted.
Nice.
All within 3 days.
Sounds like shit's going well for you. It's just this one little area you gotta optimize.
Yeah, it's career-wise, life-wise. I mean, it's been fine. Like, everything's been to a T.
Right.
But just dating in my life has always been terrible.
Okay. Well, don't personalize that story. It's been terrible in the past. You make this switch to the static environment approach. This transforms for you, and you pace a little bit better. I think you're a bit out of practice, so pacing for you is probably going to be a new thing. But just try to get a feel where the woman is at when you date her. Okay.
Okay.
So a woman, like, you want to see there to be a bit more of investment on their end. That looks like them being more vulnerable. That looks like them wanting to see you more, right?
Okay.
That looks like, what are we, conversations. Like, look for that before you start to just overload them with stuff. Okay, and you'll be good. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. You take care.
You too.
All right. I think he'll be good. He'll be good. He got a lot going on for himself at 27. That by itself puts him in his own league. His own league. Love to see that. That don't internalize it was like big. Because a lot of people, they start to craft this narrative and then they start to personally identify with it, and it makes it harder to break. So even if it feels like you're cursed, that's not true. Okay. All right. What other kind of questions do we have? Any other callers? Any other callers? I don't know about this one. Hold on. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, what was the topic?
Okay. Gotta go. Gotta go. I don't know. People like that seem like they have a personality disorder, I think. Because it's like, that's the topic, beloved. What are we doing? What are we doing? I know the people who you went to school with and they used the big pencils in high school. They used the big pencils, girthy pencils, right? Thick ass pencils. And you peep into their class and they weren't really learning lessons. They were in that bitch coloring, learning, playing red light, green light. They're in society now amongst the rest of us. And I think a lot of them call into this live and ask goofy questions like, what is the topic? It's unfortunate. Should women approach men if they want, but just not in a masculine way? Not in a masculine way. Masculine way means being super direct. So telling a man how handsome he is. Not necessary. Better approach is to be a bit indirect. So the feminine position is to create an opening. There's many different ways to do this. You can make eye contact, you can smile, you can wave, right? Those are more passive ways of creating an opening. But you also can just start a conversation, give a compliment, right? Ask for help. You're just finding some way to get the conversation going, because a lot of men who are more timid when it comes to approaching women, the scariest part for them is initiating the conversation. Scariest part is initiating the conversation. I want both men and women to understand this point. Part of attraction is you eliminating friction. You know what friction is? Who knows what friction is? In the context of which I'm using it. When I say remove friction, what do you think that means? It's not rhetorical, by the way. Barriers, resistance, awkwardness. Okay, all good answers. Possible tension, be approachable. Right, all good answers. So in business, right, if you want to understand attraction, just, okay, Moss, can we get Kiwi Girl blocked? If you want to understand attraction and relationships, business and sales kind of overlap, right? So a company like Amazon became a big company in part, slave labor was a big part, but also because of the one button purchase. When they made it so you can purchase something with one button and get shit to your house incredibly quickly, they removed friction. So instead of you going to a checkout page, entering in all your information, your phone number, your email address, all that's friction. That's friction. It makes it easier. It makes it harder for you to say yes. When you click one button, you removed a lot of friction. You made it easier to say yes, right? Apply that to attraction, dating. How do you make it easy to say yes? How do you remove the friction, right? So I said for women, for men, the biggest point of friction is starting the conversation. That's the biggest source of friction. For men, starting the conversation is them entering in their email address and phone number on Amazon. It's friction. Some men will do it, but other men won't, right? So if you know there's friction, you can remove the friction by just saying something to them. Like Hannah does. Hannah asks for help. If she's at the grocery store, she has something on the top shelf, she'll ask a guy to get something off the top shelf. She's removing the friction. Now, if he's interested, he will continue the conversation with her. For men, I told them one way for them to remove the friction, the easy way, is to start dressing better, right? A lot of times, some women want to say something to you. They just don't know what to say, right? So if you dress a bit better, that's a very easy way for them to engage you. You dress well, you smell good. That's an easy compliment they can give you, right? It's an easy way into the conversation. Even like when I used to advise people on dating apps, having a good prompt on your dating app or a good picture, very interesting picture, made it easier for women to like respond and create a conversation. You understand? All of these are different ways to remove friction, meaning you're making it easier for the person to say yes. Does that make sense? Okay. Happy to hear. Happy to hear that makes sense. So, it was pretty long-winded. My apologies. But someone asked, should women approach men? Answer, it's a bit more nuanced. All right. Let's see if we have any more callers. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
First, I just wanted to thank you for your platform
Absolutely.
and for the information that you provide. I'm just going to give a little bit of background about myself, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I am a 38-year-old male, single.
Okay.
I'm established in my career, have my own place, spend time with my family. I am about a few months removed from a very brief, short, but very passionate situationship, which I'm still processing over. As time has moved on, it's allowed me to reflect a bit more versus when things were initially after the breakup. That being said, I, like your previous caller, I've struggled with maintaining or building a long-term relationship lasting more than 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And I'm just at the point now where I just want to know, where do I begin? Where am I falling short? And how can I move forward? And I'm not really sure what I'm asking right now, but just what do I need to do to build and maintain that connection?
Okay. You say you're how old?
38.
38, and your longest relationship was how long?
Not this one, but my previous relationship was 4 months.
Is that your longest relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Why did that relationship end?
She moved out of town.
How did you meet her?
We met through mutual friends. We met at a social event, and after a couple of days, we exchanged numbers, and yeah, it was going well. But then she took a job out of province, which ended things.
Okay. Okay. Um, and before that 4 month long relationship, how long were you single before you met her?
I'd say about a year.
Okay. And the previous relationship lasted how long?
That previous relationship lasted about 5 months.
And why did that one end?
Sorry?
Why did that one end?
It got to the point where that individual decided to, they believed that that relationship was not for them. They were at a point in their life where I remember her saying that it wasn't necessarily meeting her needs and decided to move on.
Okay. And how did you meet her?
That was online.
Is that primarily how you meet women online?
In the past, I've used online dating quite extensively. For the most part, there's a lot of conversations. There will be a date or two, but the ones that where the relationship do build, they'll go from there.
Okay. So you said a date or two. Do you have like a string of women who you didn't make it past the first or second date with?
Yes.
Okay. And why did they say they decided to end the connection?
Ultimately, they said, you're a great person, but I'm just not really feeling the connection between you and I.
Got you. I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
So your problem is, are you new here or have you been following me for some time?
I've participated in a couple of your lives.
Okay.
So I am relatively new here. Yes.
Got you. Do you know about spark and safety?
No.
Okay. So there's two sides of attraction: spark and safety. Spark is anything that makes a woman desire you, crave you, makes her feel something for you. Spark, some traits you get about spark would be looking good, smelling good, dressing well, being bold, being confident, being smooth, being playful, having a good sense of humor, having boundaries, a willingness to say no, a willingness to create tension, right? Those are things that give spark. Safety is anything that makes a woman feel emotionally connected and safe. Traits that give off safety would be being a good leader, being a protector and a provider, being emotionally intelligent, emotional attunement, right? Being genuinely interested in her and showcasing kindness. Okay? Now, women and men both need spark and safety. Problem is, most people only check one of those two boxes. Which box do you think you check?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
The problem is, most people only check one of those two boxes, even though both spark and safety are required. Which box do you think you check? Spark or safety?
Safety.
Right. So you need to add more spark. You're playing things a bit too safe. You're probably being very nice, very chivalrous, right? All good things. But they're not enough. In other words, you're a good guy, but you're not a desirable one. Those are two different things. You want to be both. You want to be a good, desirable man, right? So you have to add more spark to your interactions. I can even hear it in like your voice. Your voice has some timidity to it. Like you don't really have much conviction behind what you're saying. Okay? So that's really going to be your growth edge, is building a bit more spark. Now, how do you do that? Right? sounds very vague. Am I supposed to be more bold? What does that look like? I'll tell you. There are certain tools you can add to your toolbox that will naturally start to create a bit more spark in your interactions. One is called push-pull. It has a bad rap because when people use it, they normally mean like the toxic kind. I mean the playful kind. So push-pull is essentially you pushing the woman away and pulling her to you simultaneously. I'll give you an example. I had a client, Danny knows what I'm talking about because he answered this client's question in my Telegram group. I had a client who tried to do this and he did it incorrectly. A woman texted him who he was dating. She texted him and says she looks like a troll right now. So she doesn't want to get on FaceTime. And he told her, send me a picture, right? And she sent him a picture and he responded with, yuck, you're right. So in that situation, he just pushed, right? Not good. You want push pull. So Danny told him a better response. That response would be, yeah, I do see the troll features, but it's like, you're like a cute troll though, right? Like a cute one. Yeah, you like a troll. It's the cute one though, like the cutest of all the trolls, right? Do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
Like you're giving her a little shit by saying, yeah, you look like a troll, right? But you actually look like an attractive one.
Right.
Right? So that's the push-pull element that we're looking for, right? Now, nothing is going to work with all women. Some women are going to say that and all they want is like reassurance, like 100% reassurance. Those are the very insecure women. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I had another client, he was telling me how he's used tactics like that where he was going to a dance class. There was a woman there he was interested in. And he wanted to know how to like create conversation with her. And he told me that she was late a lot. So I was just give her a little shit about being late. But then tell her that like, you know that she was late because what did I say? What did he tell me? He said that he know that she was late because she looked so good to come that day. Something like that. He was doing the same push-pull method, but he was basically saying that she was late because she was looking so good, right? She was doing her hair and doing her makeup and all that kind of stuff, right? So he's still kind of giving a compliment, but it's like giving her a little shit and simultaneously. Right? So this is a way to start adding a bit more spark because what you're doing here is you're creating a bit of tension.
Yeah.
You're creating a little bit of tension. Some women, when they hear that, they're like, I don't like that. But they still respond to it because they text men who don't text them back all fucking day. Same shit, right? So they're chasing men who are not giving them all the love and affection they claim they want. So you have to be comfortable creating some degree of tension in the dynamic. A lot of good guys and nice guys play it too safe. They try to take all the tension out of the connection. They try to remove all tension. You want there to be a degree of tension. All tension is the gap between certainty and uncertainty. The reason why push-pull works is because it's not giving a whole bunch of certainty. Because you're giving a little shit and you're giving a compliment. Right? You're giving a little shit and you're giving a compliment simultaneously. Right? Another thing you could do is like make playful assumptions. Let me give you a macro principle. The more you can create a dynamic that mimics little boys and little girls on the playground, the better you will be. If you look at how little boys interact with little girls on the playground, they're just being playful. They're being playful. They're not being like, what's your love language, Susie? They're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right? They're not doing that. Right? They're being playful. You have the cooties. You know what I mean? They're being playful. They're giving a little bit of shit. Not so much to where you're an asshole. It's a delicate balance, but it's being a little playful, creating a little bit of tension. That's how you're going to have, that's what you're going to need to lean into a bit in order to start creating that spark. There's more. I've only like scratched the surface here, but there's more that you have to start to you have to be comfortable creating the tension. That's really the meta point here is you are not comfortable with the tension yourself. So you've defaulted to the safe path where there is no tension. Okay?
I wanted to, if it's okay to, if you could expand more on sort of like the labels and the identities that people carry with them from relationship to relationship. I believe you talked about it in your last caller, where they have this idea where it doesn't work out for me, and they go from one relationship to the next.
Okay.
I have a hard time dealing with rejection.
Right.
And for me, I try to avoid it as best as I can. That's where that safety comes in.
Right.
How do I move past that label moving forward?
I'm telling you, brother, this is 1 hour call territory.
Okay.
Okay. This is 1 hour call territory. It's going to be a lot deeper. But the surface advice I can give you is you need to take more control of your self-talk. You just start telling yourself things that are empowering. Right now, your default is negative. Probably comes from your childhood. A lot of people have very critical mothers, and their mother's voice, mommy's voice, is in their head. Or critical fathers, someone critical, and that makes them be hard on themselves, right? So you got to take back control of that and start just intentionally telling yourself things are uplifting. Essentially, you are reparenting yourself when you do that. The child in you that's sensitive to rejection and criticism, and you occupy the adult talking to your inner child, and you start telling yourself things that your parents probably should have told you. So if you go and approach a woman and she turns you down, you find something to praise about that. Like, you did have the balls to approach, right? Just you approaching puts you above 90% of the men out there. You're more courageous than 90% of them. Who cares if it didn't go in your favor? You demonstrated courage. That's hard to find these days. A lot of people are.
I know I do have it in me. I'm part of a lot of social groups where, there's days where I can communicate clearly, where I will approach a complete stranger and have a conversation with them for however.
Right.
But it's about being consistent.
Right. I mean, there's work to be done there. Like I said, if you want the deeper dive, the coaching call is going to be your best bet. So just shoot me a DM and I'll tell you how to get that. Or you just go to the link in my bio and book it there. You can do it either way. But that's going to be the best bet for you, so I can actually unpack these things at a deep level, because I can give you the general advice, but it's going to be a lot more impactful if I identify the specific thing that's causing this issue for you. That way I can give you a specific roadmap into resolving it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, brother. I wish you the best, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, bro. All right. That's a good question. See if Lady Scorpio is still here. Nope, she dropped. A lot of foreigners today. I wonder why. A lot of random names in the queue. Prefer to get like a Brittany or a Tyler to request up. Not Emma or Fatwa Diop. I don't know about these names. Ashiru the second. The second? There was more than one Ashiru? All right, let's try it. He may have dropped, actually. Yo.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fine.
What can I do for you? There it is. that stumps them for some reason. That "what can I do for you" really fucks their heads up. They're like, how do I answer that? I have no working hypothesis for that. Why does the phrase "what can I do for you"? If I say "how are you doing," they got an answer. I'm good. I'm great, man. How are you? I'm good. What can I do for you? Fucking crickets. Why? It's almost as if the only English phrase they learn is "hello, sir. How are you?" I'm good. How are you? Fine. What can I do for you? They didn't get that far in the lesson. They didn't get that far. I only knew how to answer "how are you." I don't know how to answer "what can I do for you." What does that mean? What can you do? I remember Shorty, she was like, "What can you do for me?" You know, she was like twirling her hair when she said that shit. I blocked her. She pissed me off. She pissed me off. Oh my God. Remember that call? Yeah. He said, "What can you do for me?" Whoa. Where all that energy come from? Ayahuasca, or whatever her name was. It was something goofy. It was something goofy. She came out here ready. So, all right. I ain't mad at you. I'm gonna block you though. But I ain't mad at you. You saw your opportunity, you took it. Appreciate the hustle. Appreciate the hustle. But she is now blocked. All right. Okay, let's let this motherfucker back up. Hopefully he's dropped too. Okay. Maj, y'all see that motherfucker in the chat in the queue, to be or not to be? I hate that guy. I hate his fit. I hate everything about him. I hate the profile pic, the name. Everything's goofy. Everything's goofy. Anyway, if you have a question or a problem pertaining to dating and relationships, you can request up like always. Or you can drop your question in the chat and I will answer it there. But look, here's the thing, right? If you want the best answers, it's best to call in. I appreciate the time you took to take my call. No problem. Farah? How can a couple stay in the honeymoon phase? You can't. That probably is one of the biggest reasons why relationships fail, is because what you just articulated, people desire, but they never speak to. It's essentially, how do I have the good parts of the relationship without the bad parts? How can I have the good parts without the bad parts? There must be a way. There is no way. There is no way. It's going to be a lot of bad parts. It's going to be a lot of bad parts. That beautiful woman who you see, who looks like she's just amazing, she's just ethereal, like just maybe she has locks, you know, and is in Cali and just beautiful, sun-kissed, right? She gonna fart one day. You're gonna walk into the bathroom after she has a bowel movement and you're gonna be like, what the fuck happened in here? Is something dead? And that fantasy that you build up is gonna be grounded. Because you're gonna be like, oh, you're human. I thought you were an angel this whole time. You're a human person. So yeah, there's gonna be bad parts. So the healthiest people, right? Everybody fantasy projects. Everybody fantasy projects. So you hear me talk up here before, like when I tell people, okay, they weren't really dating the person in front of them. They were fantasy projecting. Some people do that to like a very intense degree. And then some people do it to a lesser degree. The healthiest people do it to a lesser degree. The healthiest people, when they come down off the high, off the honeymoon phase, off the fantasy, it's like gradual. It's a gradual descent, like an airplane, right? Gradual descent till you land. Unhealthy people, it's like, it's off a cliff. because the fantasy was too big. They weren't grounded in any sense of the word. You look at like a narcissistic person or a narcissist. A lot of them are treating you so well at the beginning because they're fantasy projecting. They really do think that you're the love of their life. But then you fart. Then they see your humanity. Then they see your weakness. And they're like, you lied to me. You lied to me. I thought you were perfect. You mean you're not perfect? You must pay, right? They fall off the cliff. There's no gradual descent. There's a, right? So, you know, do with that information what you will. I can tell some of y'all got the worst gas by your profile pic. I could tell a lot of you not drinking your water. Your diet all messed up. Diet is all messed up. I can tell. Some of y'all can tell you eat Takis every day. I can look and tell. I can tell. I can tell. Snow Bunny, Taki. I can already tell. Mm-hmm. 2 bags of Takis to the face. To the face. I don't think Lele hasn't called in before, has she? Let's see if this is real. Hello.
My bad.
I figured you didn't mean to come up. All right, I'll take you down there.
Thank you.
I was like, I know Shorty, she always watches, but I'm like, I don't think she's ever called in, so this must be a mistake. She's real, right? Because she didn't like freeze. A lot of people like freeze when they come up by accident, and they're like, if I don't move, maybe he'll stop talking to me. All right, Kay, what's going on?
Hey, I just sent the question in the chat. I actually was, it's like, what's too long to be in a relationship, and he hasn't popped the question.
Okay, so he hasn't popped the question. Y'all been dating? Y'all been in a relationship for how long?
4 years.
Have y'all talked about marriage at all?
All the time.
All the time, meaning what? Like, how do y'all talk about it?
Like he tells me all the time, you know, I want you to be my wife. You're gonna be my wife one day, and that.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
And he brings that up, like.
Yeah, he says it freely. Reminds me all the time. This is our goal. This is what we aim for.
You in the tub, beloved? You in the tub?
Yeah,
right
like
now?
yeah. But I'm like, so when he's like, I don't know yet.
Okay. So how do you respond? How do you respond when he says that?
When he say what? He want me to be his wife?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
ready. You like, I don't know why we not doing that anyway, but I'm patient. I don't, okay.
Okay. So when you have that, when you give that response, Boogie, chill out, man. I'm trying to keep a straight face.
I was trying to make this quick.
The chat is saying are you in the tub?
I am.
Okay, getting that ass washed. All right, nothing wrong with that. So
yeah, I'm trying to make it quick, and I got 10% on my phone, and I wanted you to see the question.
It's all good. So, when you give that response, how does he respond?
He say, okay.
Okay. Y'all live together?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not in no rush for that. It's like he over there, I'm over there.
Okay.
We got keys to each other's houses and stuff like that.
Okay, so this isn't long distance or anything, right?
No, we stay like 5 minutes away.
Okay. How old are you two?
35, he's 40.
Has he been married before? Has he tried to get you to move in?
No.
Okay. How frequently do y'all see each other?
All the time. I would say I try to give it maybe 2 days a break a week, but he works well. During the week, if I see him, like we didn't see each other today, but I was at his house and I dropped off a plate and stuff like that. But he got in late, and
Like, I might come see him when you get off work tomorrow, depending on what I'm doing, what time I get off. But we always together, Friday,
Yeah, see,
Saturday, Sunday.
who's initiating the two of you get together? Is it you or him?
Both of us, yeah. Like,
Okay.
we mad if we not together.
You're mad if you're not together. Okay.
Not mad, but, you know, it's
I got it. I get it. So would you describe him as clingy at all?
Not clingy. No, we not clingy people. We kind of stand strong and we kind of independent in what we are, and we kind of trying to find that balance actually into entwining. But we clingy in a way, but not, you know.
Okay. So the way to play this, the good sign is that you don't live with him, even though y'all spend a lot of time together. But the good sign is that you do not live with him.
Okay.
I don't suggest living together before marriage. I
don't suggest living together even when married, but I mean,
even when married. Hold on, let's dig into that.
I mean,
What do you mean by that?
I could. It's not no problem, but I'm just saying I wouldn't suggest it. Like, I feel like it's okay to have your own space if y'all trust each other like that. But, you know, like, we always in each other's, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I haven't experienced it.
I need you to explain that one, because that adds an interesting variable to y'all's relationship. So you would be okay with being married and not living together?
No, I want to be living with him when I'm married. I'm just saying I wouldn't suggest it. Like, I wouldn't be like, you better be living with your partner. Or, you know, I wouldn't suggest being like, you know, I don't want to get too deep into that. It's just, I don't know. But of course I would want to be living with him when we get married and all of that stuff.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I was just trying to get like the answer on like what would you say is too long? Like if you
Hold on, we gotta dig into this because you gave me a clue without realizing it. So
okay.
My intuition says that he initiates y'all getting together more than you do.
She said the boy, I know I'm anxious. Yeah.
Okay. He does.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like it's routine now. It's kind of like if we're not together, it's like what's going on.
Would you
say it's like a routine, you know?
Who? Okay. Would you say you're guarded even a little bit with him?
Guarded? No.
So would you freely let him know that you are really into him?
Yeah, we together.
Okay, but I'm saying like look at the response. He says he's gonna make you his wife, and you're like, okay.
I'm like, yeah, okay, when? Like, when you gonna make that happen?
Okay, so you say, okay, when?
Like, he done said it so many times now,
okay.
You know, I mean, so like, okay, you know I'm down, what's up? I'm waiting on you, like.
Okay.
And he like, okay.
All right. You say it just like that, I'm waiting on you. It's like a playful conversation.
Yeah, it's different every time, but this conversation probably comes up all the time, you know, like, yeah. You don't got deep in the conversation. I love it, but I wasn't even trying to get deep.
You got that's what this live is for, love. I'm gonna tell you where my gut is going. I'm not saying this for 100%. My gut is going that he's more anxious, and him saying that he's going to marry you is really just to gauge your response. It's not.
I wouldn't say he's anxious. I wouldn't say he's anxious.
What do you think he is?
Huh?
What do you think he is?
I used to think he was an avoidant.
Why?
Because like I'm the person that's always like when problems go on, I initiate the talk and I run and I like I'm always solving everything, and he's just kind of like I'm busy, I don't want to talk about it, blah blah blah. Like I don't like to label me as how I am. I kind of feel like I'm anxious. I'm getting into a place where I want to feel secure. But we go through things, I feel like he's an avoidant, but I don't want to label him as that. Because when I do want to talk, he's willing. And then it's just kind of like, not on this time, though. And I'm, like, being okay with that, because I know sometimes I can be anxious and like, well, why we can't talk about it right now? It's kind of like, because I'm still heated and I can't think straight right now. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm sorry.
I'm back down, and we can talk about it tomorrow. We can talk about it in an hour. I'll be right back, and he'll come back.
Okay.
So it's like, okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was laughing because Boogie said, "Where did the water go?" And I have not heard water since the first time, the first
I'm
splash.
trying not to be
I've heard,
like I'm
I,
I'm about to get off this live.
I heard one splash, and I ain't heard a splash since.
No, I'm trying not to, like I was trying to just get the question asked.
I
Like,
get it. I get it.
I
Okay, we're
wanna be
getting there.
like,
We're getting there. Okay, so you bring up conflict and or like concerns, and then he doesn't want to talk about it right then, but he will come back and talk about it.
It depends on how he's feeling. Like if I bring it up right now and he's feeling in a way, he's okay to talk about it.
Okay.
But me, sometimes I'll have a question after this, and a question after that, and a question after that, and like I say, I'm learning to be more secure, and I got
Right.
a way of.
Would you describe the experience of him as being like hot and cold?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm getting fearful avoidant. I'm not getting avoidant.
Okay. I ain't even. Yeah. See, this is why I didn't want to get too deep into that.
Why
yeah,
not?
Yeah, maybe.
Why do
For
you
me,
not want to get too deep?
For me or for him? For me.
For him, I'm getting fearful avoidant from him.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah.
Because he's it seems like he's very affectionate, but then he's also avoiding uncomfortable conversations. That's the avoidant nature. But
he avoids them when he's still in a heated moment. He'll let me know, like, I'm still hot right now. I can't talk about it right now, and I'll be back. And he comes back when he say he coming back.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Be that as it may, the way that I would play this, I don't see him. I think that he's saying that he's not making a serious comment. I think he's gauging your response. I think he's saying it to gauge your response, to see how you receive it. Or he might say it in like a high moment when he's just like feeling very positive about you. One of the two. Right. But regardless of the fact, for you, I would give yourself an internal timeline. So if we're not married by this point, then I need to bring it up. But you bring it up in a way where it's like, you want marriage. It's okay if he doesn't. But just to let you know, because if he doesn't see that happening, then anytime soon, then y'all should probably just leave each other alone.
Okay. So for you, if you was in a relationship as a man, I'm asking you, what would be your time limit that you would stay in a relationship and, you know, like you feel like this the one, I'm all into
it? It's hard to answer because the question implies that all men are the same and we are not.
Right.
We have different values, different levels of development. Me, where I stand right now, wouldn't be long.
Right. Okay.
Certainly wouldn't be more than like 2 years. It wouldn't be long. If I entered a relationship with somebody, it's because I see them that way. I'm not getting into a relationship just because I'm in a relationship. Oh, I want a relationship. No. It's like, I see you as someone I'm marrying, so it's like, let's go ahead and get in a relationship, and then, you know, a certain period of time, go ahead and make it happen, right? So that's me though. Other men are not like that, right? Especially a fearful.
So that's like a worldwide personal, how you feel type question. Because some people might want to be there for 10 years,
right?
And that's okay.
But it's like that's not. There's a cliche where, and I fit into this cliche, where men are with someone for a long period of time, and then after that, the next person they date, they marry very quickly. Reason for that is because like they know what they want now.
But would you say is like something wrong if you together and you just don't want to get married too quickly, or you just? What
is too quickly?
Not too quickly, but like I guess don't press the issue. Like I don't know.
I won't say it's.
I get a little deep into I'm more on the spiritual side, but okay. I get it. That was kind of like a question that was kind of broad, but I get it, and I gotta go because my phone going dead.
All right, love.
So thank
you. Take
you.
Care.
Bye.
All right. What the? There we go. I think we are past the don't push the issue. What do you mean, Eva? What does that mean? In my mind, in my imagination, she dropped the phone and then electrocuted herself in the tub. And her boyfriend came in. He was, oh, thank God, no wedding. Hold on, what? Who's this? That's what happened in my imagination. I couldn't handle it. Don't judge me. But that's what happened for sure. She dropped the phone and then that was it. Hold on, I gotta check something real quick. That's not how it works, right? It doesn't work that way. If you drop your iPhone in the tub, it doesn't electrocute you, right? Okay, that must have been an old email. All right, cool. Cool. Most phones are waterproof, right? Who's going to test it? I volunteer CC. I think it needs to be plugged. If he wanted to, he would. I don't think that if they wanted to, they would is lazy logic because look at how many people are fat, right? They all want to be in shape. They all want to be in shape. Very confusing to me. All right. What other questions do we have? Absolutely, Boogie. What to do if a man says he hates you but loves you? What is the tone of which he is saying this? Is he being playful or is he like, does he have like the pistol in his hand? I hate your ass, but I love you. Right? What is the context? Those are very different situations. So I need to know what is the context of which. Are you in the tub and he's holding the iPhone over the tub and he's like, I hate your ass. I'm gonna drop this motherfucker right now, but I love you. What's the context? I need to know that and I can answer your question. And some nuanced coaching you provided. Have you ever advised a woman it's okay to reach out to a man? Yes. Mm-hmm. Context matters though. Is there a context that you would like to share? What's up, Gigi? Curious, why are you against moving in together before marriage? It takes the incentives away. One of the reasons why I'm so good at this is because I'm very practical. So behavior follows incentives. Incentives are rewards. What incentives are at play for marriage? Historically, the incentives that are at play for marriage were sex, increased access, right? Other things. Our current culture, we're front loading all of those benefits. So there's nothing to look forward to. When there's nothing to look forward to, there's no urgency. There's certainly no incentive for men. There's incentive for women because y'all are conditioned to want marriage, right? Since little girls. So there's like a fantasy incentive in your head. Does that make sense? Move in together, all that kind of stuff, have to start having children, all that stuff. There's no incentive anymore. It puts the man in a position, the average man in a position, to only marry you out of fear of loss. Everything that we do, it is to seek pleasure or avoid pain. Pleasure is incentive. You took the incentive away. There's no pleasure associated with marriage. The only other motivating factor you have is pain. I see why y'all come here. I explain things very clearly. I've never heard anybody make that point before, but it's true. There needs to be a video. But yes, that's the situation. I shock myself all the time. The people who talk to me today on my coaching calls, like if you had a coaching call with me, you'll notice that multiple times I'll stop and be like, "That's actually good. I gotta make a video about that." I did it with every client today. They're like, "Yeah, that was actually." My best shit is like on these calls. My A tier shit is on these lives. My S tier shit is on coaching calls, which is why if you want your 1 hour coaching call, this icon right here, hit that as a button below. Shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. This is not cheap, people. A lot of people are surprised by the price. They're surprised by the price. Now, what price was you expecting? You thought it was going to be $20 per hour of my time? As good as I am with this shit? What are we thinking about? Now, prices are also going up at the end of the month. So, if you want it while it is still moderately priced, I would act fast. Okay. How much do I have to pay for you to never call me again? Boogie, your life satisfaction. These people like Boogie, they're personal friends of mine. Me and Boogie talk frequently. Major asset to my friends. Boogie is also a major asset because Boogie is one of the most hilarious people you're ever going to meet. So if you call him, you're guaranteed to laugh. You're also guaranteed to laugh with me, but I also am my friend's advisor. So they call me to advise them a lot of the time. Not so much Boogie, but other friends. Me and Boogie just joke the whole time. Share your dating life? What about my dating life would you like to know? I'm anxiously attached as fuck after I stopped playing football. How do I fix this shit? Football prevented you from being anxiously attached? I don't know if I follow. How is your anxious attachment manifesting? Your longest relationship was 8 years. How early is too early to talk about marriage? Depends on the context. Again, like what kind of context are you dating in? Are you dating in like a religious context? Are you dating in a worldly context? Religious context, I would say fairly quickly, right? That's to be expected. In worldly context, things are a bit more slow paced with that. It's flipped. Sex and things like that are rushed. Commitment is slowed down. But I will say you start asking compatibility questions like after the first date. First date, vibe out. You can sprinkle a little bit of compatibility questions in there, but what you want to avoid is interview mode. You want to avoid giving the impression that a lot of people are in what is called agenda mode, right? So you'll have men and women who are just out there looking for a husband or a wife, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And when you engage them, it feels like they're not really into you. They're just seeing if they can put you in this slot. So when you start asking a whole bunch of compatibility questions early, it feels like you don't really want to know me. You're just trying to see if I'm your potential husband. Now, some people will be like, well, sure, duh. Imagine a man coming to you, he just wants kids, and he wants to see if you're worthy of having his kids. He don't give a fuck about you. He care what your interests are, what your love languages are, what your passions are. How's that womb? What's that womb like? Where can I see that? Not attractive. Why did it end and did you learn from it? I learned one person cannot make a relationship work. And I also learned, it ended because of incompatibility. So is it cool to text and get to know both guys? You're playing into old patterns, Natalie. New Natalie, who's healed and who gets the relationship, is not texting both guys. Dating this guy, everything is going good, but when we fight, we disrespect each other and go low. Then I would say everything is not going good then, love. That sounds like a stage 1 connection. And you said dating this guy, are you in a relationship or just seeing him? Because shit will get worse as you get more attached. Andrea, you are hilarious. A man wanting me for my womb happened before and it wasn't fun. I'm sure. It doesn't sound like fun. Shawty asked me if I had a savings account. I was flustered. How old was she? A savings account? Is that hard to find nowadays? What are some of your exceptions when you're in a relationship? Do you mean expectations? I think you mean expectations. I don't know, man. Just equal just investment. Someone who adds to my life, right? It's a mistake a lot of men make. I'm gonna be a provider man, right? Nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem. You can provide. But you have to also get a woman who is capable. Okay? These men get women who are underdeveloped and they don't understand life from a macro perspective. Life contains seasons. There will be ups and downs with your health, with your finances, right? You don't know what the future holds. It will punch you and beat you up in some way, shape, or form. If it hasn't happened, you haven't lived long enough, right? So when that does happen, if you get a woman who's just with you because you take care of her and she is not capable, you're in a bad spot because she won't be able to handle that, which means she likely will leave you. So nothing wrong with providing and wanting a woman who is going to be in her feminine, right? But she needs to be capable. Should I go back to an ex after 2 months? Why would you? Okay, someone said, what is a stage 1 relationship? Let me just take a sip of my shit here because y'all gonna make me talk about the stages again. All right, Boog. Y'all gonna make me talk about the stages again? You already know it's a whole speech. All right. There's 4 stages. Some of us are new. I know. I talk about it all the time, even on my coaching calls. But you're fine. No need to apologize. You're good. I'm mentally preparing myself. So there's 4 stages of development, right? And once you can identify the stage that the person you are dating is in, you can know how to engage them and also anticipate how things are likely to go in the connection. And if you can identify yourself and what stage you are at, you know what the next step is in. This is something I help my clients do in coaching calls, okay? So stage 1 is a very reactive state. This is somebody who does not have, you can argue that as you progress up the stages, you have more and more free will, right? So stage 1 is like the most reactive. They're not doing much thinking, much reflecting. If this is a person who is anxiously attached, they pretty much default to anxious behaviors. If they're avoidantly attached, they default to avoidant behaviors, right? These are the women who, pop tires and shit like that. They're not thinking, they're just reacting, right? Doesn't mean if you're stage 1, you move like that. It's reactionary, right? Now, the way people typically get from stage 1 to stage 2 is they get hurt. They experience pain. When they experience pain, that's when they start reflecting. That's when they say, I keep getting cheated on, or, people keep leaving me, or maybe there's some sort of emotional or physical abuse. They experience enough pain to make them take a step back and reflect. At stage 2, the man or the woman identifies with their wound. Whatever their wound is, they hyperfixate on it. The people they date are people who they project that wound onto. So let's say a woman is dating a man, and men she's dated have always left her. So now she has a wound of like abandonment. She feels like men are always going to leave her. So when she's dating men now, she is constantly looking for signs on whether or not he's going to leave her. She may even read too deeply into those signs. Sometimes she'll make an accurate observation. Other times she'll make an inaccurate observation. She's projecting, right? At stage 2 is where you see anxiously attached people start to behave like avoidantly attached people. They're really anxious, but they're behaving like an avoidant. Meaning when intimacy increases, they create space because they have a fear of pain. They don't have a fear of enmeshment like an avoidant would have. They have a fear of getting hurt, right? That's stage 2. Stage 2 is all about the wound, right? Stage 3, also, let me go back to stage 1. Stage 1 is also entirely fixated on external supply. So 2 types of supply, external and internal. Supply is just your ability to feel good, right? So people who need external supply, they need something outside of themselves to feel good. If left to their own devices, they can't make themselves feel good. They need something outside of themselves to feel good. This is the girl who's single, who is now twerking online because she needs male attention to feel good. This is the guy doing the money spread online because he's like, I need some likes real quick. They need external supply to feel good, right? Stage 2 also needs external supply. They're just a bit more thoughtful. And they're starting to generate the ability to create internal supply. It's just really early, right? Stage 3 has 2 subtypes. I won't get into those, but let's just say stage 3 is where you have started to do a lot of self-work and develop yourself, right? So stage 3 people typically have increase their ability to generate internal supply. So they're less needy externally. When you get to stage 3, that's when you can actively choose somebody to be with. At stage 1 and stage 2, you need someone. At stage 3, that's when you have pretty much dealt with the need, and now you can effectively choose, because you can't need and choose simultaneously. You're doing one or the other. If you need to be with someone, you're not going to choose someone, right? You can only choose a person if you don't need them. Does that make sense? So when you get to stage 3, that's when you can effectively choose. Stage 3 is also able to generate internal supply. So they're less dependent on external supply. They can make themselves feel good, and thus they no longer need someone. Okay? Stage 4 is the most developed stage. They are very present to the moment, right? They're very present to the moment. There's no need to talk about stage 4. It's just better than stage 3. Most people are not going to access stage 4. I'm not at stage 4. I'm at stage 3. Stage 3B, to be specific. But I can consciously access stage 4. Right? So I'll give you an example of how the stages work. This is how the stages work, right? Because each stage is going to be either fixated on the past or the future. And the more you go up the stages, the less that's a thing. And when you're at stage 4, you're just very present. Okay. So let's say, I'm gonna use me being bald as an example, right? Let's say I'm talking to a woman and she like jokes about me being bald, right? This is how the stages will react to that. Stage 1 hears the woman say like, oh, you're bald, right? Stage 1 is like, what the fuck you mean? What are you trying to say? Something wrong with bald man? What do you mean? Reacting. I'm reacting. Not even thinking about it. I'm just offended. Now I'm attacking. I feel like you're attacking me. Now I'm attacking you. That's stage 1. Stage 2 hears you're bald, and they pretend like it doesn't bother them. But internally, they're like, oh, is she like concerned that I'm bald? Is she not like bald men? Maybe I should leave. Maybe I should just like not call her back, because it sounds like I'm not her type, right? Stage 2 is more like I'm pretending to be stronger than I actually am. I have a tough exterior because I'm afraid of getting hurt. So I'm going to hide all vulnerability. Stage 2 has high walls. So when they hear the slight, they pretend like it's not really affecting them. As they get closer to you, then they'll start showing that it's affecting them. And that's when they'll act like an anxious or avoidant, right? Stage 3, they hear you're bald, and it's like, you're bald. You just call me bald? Anyway, what are we talking about, right? It's they notice it, they may have an internal dialogue a little bit, but then they decide to let it go and then refocus on the conversation. They notice it, they have like a little internal monologue, and then they just decide to let it go, and they go back to the conversation. Stage 4 here is you're bald, and they see it, you're bald, and they just go right back to you. They don't spend any time really fixating on it. Does that make sense? Notice how as you go up, the person becomes more and more present. More and more free will. Stage 1 has no free will. It's like animalistic. It's like I'm just reacting. Stage 2 is still reacting, but they're pretending like they're not reacting. They're a bit more thoughtful. They have like an additional level of thought. Stage 1 has 1 level of thought. Stage 2 has 2 levels of thought, right? They can observe that reaction. Okay? Stage 3 is when you like become a conscious, right? You have more choice at stage 3. Yeah, Eckhart Tolle, if you read The Power of Now, it's definitely worth the read. So stage 3 is like, that's when you enter the phase of like, oh, you have more free will. Now you can decide, am I going to engage in this or not? I'm not going to engage in this. And you can like let it go. Stage 2 don't let it go. Stage 3 can decide to let things go. Stage 2 does not let it go. It's either going to stay in them and dysregulate them, or it's going to they're going to act out in some way. If they're anxious, they'll do protest behaviors. Protest behaviors are just ways for anxious people to indirectly get reassurance. They want attention. They want reassurance. So they act out. Silent treatment, passive aggression. They act out so that you reassure them, right? And then stage 4 is like, how do you truly work on yourself? Journaling, therapy, what do you recommend? Well, you know what I recommend? That 1 hour coaching call, baby. This icon right here, hit that button below, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. Remember, prices go up at the end of the month. End of the month, prices going up. I've talked to a lot of y'all already. So many people, they'll see that link. They're like, maybe next month I'll buy. All right. Okay. All right. I mean, you have just been in situationships for the past 10 years. I don't think delaying it would be a good idea, but you do you. You do you. Remember, for things to change, you got to make a different decision. For things to change, you got to make a different decision. Keep making the same decision, you're going to keep getting what you got. And you don't like what you got. That's why you're here. Right? Right. Okay. It's on you, though. I don't reveal my clients to the chat, but I'm sure my clients who have had the 1 hour coaching call would tell you it's like that for real. What if you intentionally choose to act as a stage 1? Is that still stage 3? Yeah, you can drop the stages. It's not like you're not permanently at a stage. If you're very dysregulated or there's lower capacity, maybe there's a death in the family, job loss, you can definitely drop a stage. You can drop a stage. I think you can also access a stage. So I tell men, you can date stage 2 women, but they need to have high capacity. So stage 2 women are going to have 2 types of capacity. They're going to have a moderate level of capacity and a low level of capacity. You don't really see stage 2 women with a high level of capacity. It's going to be moderate or low. Here's what that looks like. And this has been such good advice from my clients. They love this shit when they hear it. My male clients specifically. A woman who has moderate capacity, who is stage 2, when she becomes dysregulated, meaning intimacy increases or there's conflict, you can expect a pullback. You can expect a pullback because she has to regulate herself. Remember, they're afraid of getting hurt, so they create distance. Now, stage 2 woman who has moderate capacity, she will return within 24 to 72 hours. And this is going to be cyclical. It's not going to happen just one time. It's going to happen a number of times. The frequency will occur less over time, but you're going to have multiple cycles of this. It's not going to be one-off, right? But if she has moderate capacity, she will return within 24 to 72 hours. That's not healthy, though. Right. Let me finish making the point, beloved, okay? She will return within 24 to 72 hours. That means she has moderate capacity. That's good. That's workable. Because with the woman who is stage 2, you heal her by loving her properly. Stage 3 and stage 4, you now have the ability to heal someone with love. Never said that before, but it's true. Stage 3 and stage 4, you now have the ability to heal people by loving them properly. How do you help, or how do you create the conditions for a stage 2 woman to heal? Or a stage 2 man? The first thing, you have to identify whether or not they have moderate or low capacity. So low capacity would be when they get dysregulated, they leave and stay gone, or they leave and it's longer than 72 hours, or they leave and return, but they're never the same again. If they come back in that 24 to 72 hour window, but they never get back to baseline, now they're just weird, low capacity, go ahead and cut it off. It's not going to change. Promise you, it's not going to change. Cut it out. If they return within 24 to 72 hours, they have moderate and they get back to normal. That's moderate capacity. That is promising. That can work. That's a person that can move up to stage 3. Now, Remember, stage 2 is based on the wound. It's based on the being hurt. So people at stage 2, remember you need spark and safety, right? The only safety a stage 2 person feels is safety behavior that contradicts their wound. So if they have been wounded by men who've constantly left them, you have to behave in a way that suggests you will not leave. You cannot talk about it. Talking is not going to do it. You cannot make a grand gesture. The only safety they feel is safety that contradicts the wound. So you got to stack evidence over time. Over time, enough evidence is stacked, that wall will come down. Now, I had a client recently. Stage 1, 2 men couldn't be attractive to me. I hear you, but understand. 3 and 4 for both men and women, very rare. Very, very rare. People do not work on themselves nowadays. They work on external things. They'll get in shape. They'll dress well. They'll get money. They won't work inside. Biblical, Bible. Jesus said this. You polish the outside of the cup. You don't clean the inside of the cup. You don't clean the inside of the cup. Clean the inside of the cup. This has been all of human history. People are like this. They will create all the trappings of success. They won't do the shit inside. They won't fuck with that. So you can want to stage 3 or stage 4, but they do the shit inside. They're rare, and they're oftentimes already partnered. Okay? All right. So this is why I tell men, you can date stage 2 women, just they need to have a moderate capacity. All right? You want to stack evidence, because over time, that will cause those walls to go down. Now, I'm working with a client who lived this. She told me that one of her previous relationships, after a year being with a guy, she fell for him. She fell for him after a year. I said, why did you fall for him after a year? And she said, well, he was just so consistent. I told her, you didn't fall for him. You allowed yourself to fall for him. Difference. You didn't fall for him. You allowed yourself to fall for him. Meaning you let that wall, you let that guard down. You lowered your walls because his consistency of behavior, meaning boundaries are weak? No. His consistency of behavior gave her the type of safety she needed that contradicted her wound. So over the course of that year, he was stacking evidence. Stacking evidence, stacking evidence, stacking evidence. I'm not going to hurt you. 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 Eventually, she believed him. And that's when she fell for him. She allowed herself to lean into the connection after enough evidence was stacked. Does that make sense? Yes or no? I'm sure some of y'all get what I just said, and then some of y'all really get what I just said. Some of y'all are like, oh, it makes sense. Some of y'all are like, oh, that's a game changer. It is. It is a game changer. That's exactly how it works. Exactly how it works. Okay? All right, people. That's going to do it for me. I'm tired. So if you're new here, I really get it because you said it so many times, right? Did he end up hurting her? Interesting thing. I don't think he ended up hurting her, but this is the tricky part. In her situation, she was so guarded that she never allowed herself to be fully her. Once she let her guard down, she became fully her, and she was very anxious, and she became controlling, so she scared him off. But that's it for me, folks. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live every day. I'll be live again tomorrow at noon Eastern time. So if I didn't get into your question tonight, I will get to it tomorrow. Again, if you want your 1-hour coaching call where I go into a lot more detail, you finally get clarity over your situation, so you'll stop spiraling, asking what if, what should I do, all that kind of stuff. You can finally save all that emotional energy. This icon right here, hit that button below, shoot me a message. I will send you a link to book your call. Appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'll take care.